Have you ever imagined that the serene beauty of a lake could hide a deadly secret, capable of killing millions of lives in the blink of an eye? Get ready to have your perception of nature turned upside down, because what I'm about to reveal to you now is not science fiction, but a terrifying reality. Many believe that the greatest dangers come from earthquakes or volcanoes, but what if I told you there's a type of lake that, by its very nature,
Have you ever imagined
is
that
the
the
serene
ticking
beauty
time
of a
bomb
lake
about to
could hide a
explode,
deadly
releasing
secret,
an invisible
capable
and
of
lethal
killing
cloud?
millions of lives in the blink
If you're
of an
tired
eye?
of superficial information,
Get ready to
and
have
seek
your
to
unravel the most shocking mysteries of our planet, known by few, then stay with me. You're about to discover the truth behind a natural phenomenon as rare as it is devastating, and the reward is a mental clarity that will make you see the geography of the world through different eyes, forever. Have you ever stopped to think that, behind the serene beauty of a lake, an unimaginable danger might be lurking? It's one of those natural curiosities that makes us question everything we know about the world around us. Imagine a tranquil mirror of water, reflecting the blue sky, but which, deep inside, holds a silent threat, capable of unleashing a devastating force. It's as if the very geography of the place, so inviting, were hiding a deadly secret, a true wolf in sheep's clothing. Well, we're not talking about legends or fairy tales, but about a terrifying reality that has already claimed lives and left entire communities in panic. Yes, there are lakes that are true natural time bombs, accumulating toxic gases in their depths, ready to be released in an instant. It's a rare, but real, condition that transforms the idyllic landscape into a scene of potential catastrophe, one of those geographical curiosities that remind us of our planet's relentless power. These lakes, with their unique geological characteristics, are a vivid reminder that nature has its own mechanisms, often misunderstood by us. They force us to look beyond the surface, to understand the subterranean forces that shape our world and, at times, surprise us with their destructive capacity. And what if I told you that this isn't just a theory, but something that has already happened, leaving a trail of desolation and mystery? You know, nature sometimes sends us subtle warnings before delivering its harshest blows. And that's exactly what happened in 1984, in Cameroon, with Lake Monoun. It was a night like any other, but what followed was an event so bizarre and tragic that, for a long time, it defied understanding. People and animals simply dropped dead, with no visible injuries, as if an invisible force had swept life from that place. It's one of those dark curiosities that make us question the limits of our knowledge about the planet. At first, no one could understand what had happened. Theories ranged from terrorist attacks to mysterious diseases, but the truth was far more peculiar and linked to the lake's own geography. What was eventually discovered was that an invisible cloud of gas, heavier than air, had escaped from the lake's depths, embracing the valley and suffocating everything in its path. It was a terrifying, a brutal reminder that not all danger is visible or obvious. This tragedy at Lake Monoun, though less known than the one that would follow, was the first clear warning that these killer lakes were a reality. It opened the eyes of the scientific community to a limnological phenomenon previously little understood, sparking a race to comprehend what had occurred and, more importantly, how to prevent it from happening again. The geographical curiosities about the region, with its volcanic lakes, gained a new and urgent meaning, setting the stage for an even more devastating event that would shock the world. You know, history has a peculiar way of testing us, of showing us that, sometimes, one warning isn't enough. And that's exactly what happened just 2 years after Monoun, in 1986, when Lake Nyos, also in Cameroon, unleashed its fury in an even more devastating way. If Monoun was a deadly whisper, Nyos was a deafening scream. More than 1,700 people and countless animals were wiped out in a matter of minutes, without warning, without a chance to defend themselves. It's one of those tragic curiosities that make us question the fragility of life in the face of nature's forces. Imagine the scene: a dense, invisible cloud of carbon dioxide, heavier than air, descended down the valley slopes, suffocating everything in its path. The victims felt no pain, there was no time for panic, just a sudden drowsiness, followed by the end. It was a collective "my God" that echoed around the world, an event that shocked the scientific and humanitarian community, forcing them to confront a new and terrifying natural threat. The geography of the region, with its valleys and deep lakes, became a crucial factor in the magnitude of the tragedy. The Lake Nyos catastrophe wasn't just an isolated event, it solidified the understanding that limnically active lakes were a real threat and that what happened at Monoun was no accident. It spurred research and the search for solutions, transforming these geographical curiosities into an urgent field of study and intervention. The world needed to understand how these lakes worked and, more importantly, how to prevent such horror from repeating, paving the way for science to unravel the secrets behind these natural time bombs. After witnessing tragedies like those of Monoun and Nyos, the human mind, always curious, turns to the why. How is it possible for a lake, a symbol of life and tranquility, to transform into a silent killer? The answer, my friend, lies in the depths of geography and geology. Imagine a giant soda bottle, but instead of sugar and water, it's saturated with carbon dioxide, CO2, coming from the volcanic subsoil. This heavy gas dissolves in the cold, dense water at the bottom of the lake, accumulating under immense pressure, like a time bomb waiting for the trigger. The secret lies in the thermal stratification of these lakes. They are so deep and stable that their water layers don't mix. The bottom water, colder and denser, retains the dissolved CO2, preventing it from escaping into the atmosphere. It's one of those curiosities of physics and chemistry that, under normal conditions, would go unnoticed, but in a volcanic lake, it becomes a recipe for disaster. Any disturbance, a landslide, an earthquake, or even heavy rain, can break this barrier, explosively releasing the accumulated gas. This sudden release, known as a limnic eruption, is what creates that invisible and deadly cloud. The CO2, upon being released from pressure, bubbles to the surface, displacing oxygen from the air and suffocating everything in its path. It's a brutal reminder that nature operates on scales and with forces we've barely begun to comprehend. The geographical curiosities of these lakes, with their volcanic origins and deep waters, are a vital field of study to prevent history from repeating itself, and they make us think of. After understanding the science behind these killer lakes, the natural question that arises is, how can we tell if a lake is at risk? After all, prevention is always the best path, isn't it? The good news is that nature, however relentless, usually leaves clues. It's not like a movie villain who appears out of nowhere. There are signs, often subtle, that can indicate a lake is accumulating dangerous gases. It's one of those curiosities that, if well observed, can save lives and prevent tragedies. One of the first indicators to look for is the lake's location. Lakes in active or inactive volcanic regions, especially those that are deep and have little water circulation, are natural candidates for this phenomenon. Furthermore, the presence of thermal springs or gas bubbling at the bottom of the lake, even on a small scale, can be a sign that CO2 is being released from the subsoil. The geography of the watershed and the lake's depth are crucial factors for gas accumulation. Other more technical signs include measuring the CO2 concentration in the bottom water and analyzing the lake's thermal stratification. If the bottom water is saturated with gas and there's a colder, denser layer of water preventing mixing, the risk is high. It's like having a balloon about to burst. You don't see the gas, but the pressure is there. Understanding these geographical curiosities and scientific facts is fundamental for communities near these lakes to prepare and, perhaps, implement safety measures before the worst happens. After understanding the danger and the warning signs, the human mind, always ingenious, turns to solutions. How can we disarm these natural time bombs? The most effective and innovative answer science has found is degassing. Imagine a giant pipe, like a siphon, inserted into the lake's depths, pulling gas-saturated water to the surface. As the water rises, the pressure decreases, and the CO2 harmlessly bubbles into the atmosphere, like a soda bottle being slowly opened. It's one of those engineering curiosities that transforms a threat into a controlled process. This degassing process, though complex and expensive, has been successfully implemented in lakes like Nyos and Monoun. Teams of scientists and engineers work tirelessly to install and maintain these systems, ensuring that the accumulated gas is released gradually and safely, preventing a catastrophic eruption. It's a testament to human capacity to learn from tragedy and apply knowledge to protect lives. The geography of these locations, often remote and challenging, makes the operation even more heroic. In addition to active degassing, other preventive measures include constant monitoring of gas levels and lake stratification, as well as the development of evacuation plans and alert systems for nearby communities. It's a continuous effort that requires vigilance and investment, but it's worth every penny when it comes to preventing another catastrophe. These geographical curiosities about natural risk management show us that, with science and determination, we can coexist with nature's most powerful forces, setting the stage for the importance of continuous vigilance. You know, my friend, history teaches us that vigilance is the key to safety. Even with degassing solutions underway, nature is dynamic, and the threat of new gas accumulations never completely disappears. Therefore, continuous monitoring of these lakes is absolutely crucial. Sensors that measure CO2 concentration, water temperature, and pressure in the depths are like the eyes and ears that allow us to anticipate any change and act before danger manifests. It's one of those curiosities of modern science that allows us to live in harmony with the planet's most powerful forces. Beyond technology, the memory of the victims and the awareness of local communities are equally important. The stories of Lake Monoun and Lake Nyos serve as a grim reminder of what can happen when nature manifests itself so unexpectedly. Educating people about the risks, warning signs, and safety procedures is an invaluable investment. The geography of these locations, often isolated, requires a redoubled effort to ensure that information reaches everyone, transforming knowledge into protection. Keeping these lakes under constant observation is not just a safety measure, it's a commitment to life and continuous learning. It's a testament that, even in the face of nature's most overwhelming forces, humanity can find ways to adapt, mitigate risks, and protect its future. The geographical curiosities about these phenomena drive us to always seek more knowledge, ensuring that past tragedies serve as valuable lessons for future generations. So, my friend, together we've unraveled the mystery of the deadly lakes, one of the most terrifying geographical curiosities on our planet. You've seen how nature holds secrets capable of changing everything, and how science helps us understand them. But now, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you merely be surprised, or will you use it to look at your own life with the same depth? Think about it. If we can understand such complex phenomena, what's stopping you from unraveling your own challenges? What pressures are accumulating in your life that need to be released? True wisdom lies in applying what you learn. If this journey has inspired you to go beyond the obvious, then you're on the right path. Don't let this flame die out. To continue exploring